Guys, rumors broke this weekend that Steven Nelson, former cornerback Steven Nelson, former Kansas City Chiefs cornerback Steven Nelson, was going to be in Kansas City to visit with the Kansas City Chiefs. And it seems that has been confirmed. It will be happening today. I want to let you know I am shooting this video at 2:11 p.m. on Monday. Nothing has happened yet. The last time I made one of these rumor-based videos, it was about DJ Humphries. I posted the video, went to go to bed because I do work overnights, and as I laid down, news broke that DJ Humphries was signed, so I had to get up and record another video. But not going to happen today. So I wanted to get this out there just in case something does break. I wanted to let you know that this was shot in advance, but we have Andy Reid answering a question about Steven Nelson. This is coming to us from the Arrowhead Pride article, Andy Reid Roundup by Peter Sweeney. And Reid commented on Steven Nelson's Kansas City visit, which is scheduled for Monday. The quote from Reid: "He was a good player when he was here. He came out of Oregon State with the ability to return and play corner, and then he developed into a starting corner in the league and had a nice career for the last how many years. It was the ability to add a little depth to that spot, and we'll know how things work out, see kind of where he's at Monday. He would be a welcome addition if it all works out." That sounds like it's as done a deal as possible to me. I don't see Andy Reid really speculating on players and things like that. That's why I say that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about who is Steven Nelson, why the Kansas City Chiefs might welcome him back, and what are we looking at with the cornerback situation writ large. And I have some interesting stats to compare here. Now, the first thing we have to get out of the way is, who is Steven Nelson? Well, he's 31 years old. He's a cornerback. As we look at these numbers, I want you to remember that all of them are sort of just below what you want. Height, 5'10 and 1/8. You want a 5'11 or 6 foot cornerback. Weight, 197. 200 is what you want. Arm length, 31 and 5/8 inches. You want at least 31. Hands, 9 1/4 inch. It's decent. 40-yard dash, 4.49. You want a 4.44 guy. The cone drills, look, I'm not real good with those. Those look like decent scores, not great if I'm going off the top of my head. Vertical jump, 34.5 inches. 36 is really kind of what you really want to see there. Good bench press numbers. The broad jump is okay. Really, you like to see 10 foot for a cornerback. So I do not say that to disparage Steven Nelson. I say that because he is the classic idea of an overachiever. And what I have here are the snap counts that he has played in his career. Something very, very interesting pops out when you start to look down that list there. 2015 as a rookie, he played 53 defensive snaps. Very shortly thereafter, he was on the 1,000-yard club, right? Or the 1,000-snap club. As a sophomore in the NFL, 2016 for the Kansas City Chiefs, 1,013 snaps at corner. In 2017, another 500. And then a career high in 2018, his final season with the Kansas City Chiefs, 1,164 snaps. Now, while that was his career high, he did not fall very far from there. He went to Pittsburgh from Kansas City and played 1,011 snaps, and then he had 3 consecutive 900-snap seasons. And his final season, 2023, in Houston. Now, just off the top here, from what I understand, Steven Nelson just retired. There was no injury that I can really find. It's not that nobody wanted him. It's not that he lingered out there for a while. From what I understand, he just retired. Look at that snap count in 2023, 1,088, the second highest number of his entire career. By that time, he was not really playing special teams. He is a guy that earned himself a good career in the NFL. You're looking at a guy who played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons in the NFL, especially at the cornerback position. Doesn't happen a lot. So you're not looking at I'm going to be 100% honest with you. When Steven Nelson left Kansas City, he was really kind of off my radar. You heard about him pop up every once in a while, and we'll get to why he popped up every once in a while, but I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to him. And it wasn't until I heard these rumors that I was like, oh yeah, Steven Nelson. Let's go back and look at that guy. For the life of you, I would not have bet he had a 9-year career in the NFL. Just blanked on it. Blanked on the entire thing, when he was drafted and everything. So interesting that in 2023, his so far final year in the league, 1,088 snaps. That is the second highest of his career. Now, here are his advanced statistics. One of the things that I have to point out here, ball hawk doesn't quite mean what it used to. There's nobody with 13 interceptions anymore. There's nobody doing those sorts of things anymore. He had 4 interceptions in 2023. It's a good number. He had 0 interceptions, I believe, his first 3 seasons in the league. If I might be mistaken, please don't take me for granted on that. I think he had 0 interceptions his first 3 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs. His final year with the Kansas City Chiefs is when he kind of broke out and ended up with 4 interceptions in that 2018 season. After that, he never went without an interception again. 4, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 1, then 4. That's not the biggest ball hawk in the NFL, for sure. That is not a great turnover machine. But guys, that says he's kind of dependable. When you look at this is one of the columns that I like to pay attention to. Rating when targeted. Obviously, you want to pay attention to that, right? 73.3 his final year in the league, 80.5 in 2022. Since they've been keeping the statistic, only one time has he had a rating over 100, and it was 108.4 in Philadelphia during that 2021 season. Another thing to keep in mind here, how many times is he being targeted? Now, he was picked on his final year in Kansas City, 115 targets, but that kind of fell off fairly precipitously from there. Here's something I want to show you, just as a comparison. Here's Najee Johnson. Najee Johnson has 29 targets this year. Guys, Najee Johnson has played 334 snaps of defense. Remember, we were talking about, so just for example here, 1,088 snaps, 70 targets total. You're talking about Najee Johnson having 334, basically a target every 11 times he steps on the field. Doesn't matter if it's a pass play or a run play. If Najee Johnson is on the field 10% of the time, they're throwing the ball towards him. That is a troubling statistic to pop up for Najee Johnson. And then you look over here, rating when targeted of 106.8. Another thing that is troubling here, defensive average depth of target. How far back is that cornerback when they're throwing the ball at him? 13.2, 13.1, 11.4, 9.2, 10.3, 14.0. I don't have the numbers pulled up. I believe Trent McDuffie has something absolutely nasty. They just throw the ball at him basically right at the line of scrimmage. 15.5 yards downfield on Najee Johnson. For a guy with a great 40-yard dash and one of the best verticals you're going to see, that is an embarrassing number. Here's the numbers for Joshua Williams. They don't look all that bad. Now, a bit of egregious targets, right? But when you get to the ratings, 104.9 as a rookie, but he was like the 4th cornerback, right? So he was really down there on the depth chart, and Basically, those were all kind of 8.8 defensive average depth of target. It means a lot of that was dump offs, things like that. 82.7 last year, 75.2 this year. So what's going on with Joshua Williams? Well, I've been asking this question a lot myself because I couldn't figure it out. Joshua Williams was competing with Jalen Watson during the preseason for that number 2 cornerback role. It seemed that the Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff really, definitely, certainly wanted Joshua Williams to be the number 2 corner. It seemed they tried everything in their power to ignore what Jalen Watson was showing them and still try to go with Joshua Williams. And then all of a sudden, Jalen Watson takes the spot, and Joshua Williams is like the 3rd, 4th corner. I couldn't understand it. And then last night happened, and I saw something for the first time. I'm assuming that's what has been happening, and I just haven't noticed. There was the 3rd and long play where Herbert threw the ball to Quentin Johnston on kind of an out route, and he ended up taking the ball for the first down, right? And on that play, on your screen, you'll notice Leo Chanel kind of chasing Quentin Johnston, and it looked like he had Quentin Johnston in coverage. But if you go back and you rewatch that play, that's not what happened. Leo Chanel was in his zone coverage. The defense was in his zone coverage. Leo Chanel was feigning a blitz, and then he peeled off, and he was in sort of the hook zone, and he was in between the tight end and Quentin Johnston, right? So he had sort of a decision he had to make. And the moment Herbert released the ball, he cuts out and is running towards Quentin Johnston. That's why it looks like he got burned on the play. But on that play, all of a sudden, Joshua Williams kind of pops into existence on the screen. And I had a flashback to my freshman, sophomore year in high school playing cornerback and being screamed at that you don't cover grass, you cover men, right? If you're in zone defense, yeah, you are responsible for a certain area of the field, but if there's nobody in that certain area of the field, what are you doing there? I don't know for sure if that's what Joshua Williams is falling into. It definitely seemed like it on that play. It definitely seemed like Quentin Johnston was in his zone and he was covering grass. That grass was in his zone too, and that grass did not catch the ball. Quentin Johnston did. So it might be, and I'm just speculating the day after the game. Haven't gone back and checked anything, haven't seen anything firsthand. That might be what it is that is keeping Joshua Williams in the doghouse with this coaching staff. So why bring in a 31-year-old cornerback like Steven Nelson? Steven Nelson doesn't make those mistakes. Steven Nelson is not going to cover grass. He might not be as fast as he once was. He might not be as fast as Joshua Williams or certainly not Najee Johnson is right now. But he's not going to be covering dead space. That is what a veteran leader looks like, and that's sort of something that the Kansas City Chiefs have realized, I think, this season. The Chiefs, with their salary cap constraints, have had to do everything they can to save money, and part of that is going with younger players. Part of that is going with draft picks. Part of that is going with UDFAs at certain positions. You need veteran leaders. This isn't a game of Madden. Those meeting rooms matter. That locker room matters. And I think that is something that, look, Najee Johnson, Joshua Williams, they might be making those mistakes of covering grass. A guy that's going to give up a little bit in the athletic department, like Steven Nelson, over Najee Johnson. He might not be as fast. He doesn't have the 40. He's not going to cover grass. I think that might really be what is hampering the defense at this point. In a zone coverage, things still have to be basically man press, So anyway, that's what I have for this. If the Kansas City Chiefs do actually end up going and signing Steven Nelson, I will make another video tomorrow talking about sort of the implications on the defense for the signing. But I wanted to get the rumor out there. I wanted to get the speculation. I wanted to get a little bit about why that might be. And I wanted to get a little bit about who Steven Nelson is. So that's all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button to stick around for more Kansas City Chiefs-based content. Pardon me. I'm coming up on 2 years of uploading daily content, and as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.